See, everybody was supposed to be helping with the National Recovery Act because everybody was broke.
Song just doesn't seem right.
I always thought there was a lot of pressure on them because they were basically auditioning in this film. Woman Haters. That was the very first, of course, of their Columbia shorts. They had made shorts for MGM, and some of them color, as a matter of fact. And it was more or less an audition for them. Their contract had not been officially signed yet with Columbia, so they were auditioning themselves, and as we can tell, they came out of this all right with flying colors. They were going to get the contract. A couple interesting things I noticed about the film. When they all tumble out of the upper berth, in one scene, Larry falls and actually breaks his finger, according to Mo. Walter Brennan, who won 3 Oscars as a supporting actor over the years and played Grandpa McCoy on TV, he plays a Pullman porter in this. Gets initiated in the Woman Haters Club. He's tough to recognize because he's quite a bit younger than most people would have
Was
seen.
he just a Columbia guy? Is that why they got him? Or?
He probably started there just as a bit player, and then
Okay.
somebody put him in their movies, and he caught on like as a second banana. You know, he always played somebody's sidekick or something. But
Okay.
And then Marjorie White, the young girl who plays the lead in this, she was kind of groomed by Columbia to hopefully be a big female star at one time. But tragically, it wasn't long after this was made that she was killed in a car wreck. She was with some people. I think the story I'd heard, they were drinking. They wrapped the thing around something, and the other 3 people in the car from her all survived. She was the only one who died on that. And that's really, and of course, this is a unique short for the Stooges, and when you see any of their other films, is that they're almost playing 3 separate characters, although they have their scenes together. And everything is sung and told in rhyme, which is strange because it's just different from any other short they made. But it's just different. That's what I would say when you put it. And to give it a rating, for me, it's tough because it is their first one. They haven't really got their characters in like you're used to seeing them if you're a Stooge fan. So I give this one about a 7. Would be about my.
Okay.
About my.
For me, it's historical. It's the first Columbia Stooge short, so it's got a historical factor. The fact that Larry is the lead character is kind of interesting for me.
Very different.
The rhyme throws it off for me a little bit. So my rating was a little lower. I had this at 5. To me, it's average. I could see though. I mean, I was torn at 4, 5. I was somewhere in that area. I went with a 5 on just for being average. I mean, it's got some funny bits to it. It's nice to see them all so young and energetic. Larry and Mo get to sing, which is interesting. And it's interesting. It's different. Right. It's unique. It's historical. But overall, it's not. I wouldn't say, if you want to watch the Stooges, get this one first and watch it. But you should watch it at some point because it's entertaining. And
it's just a curiosity. It's so different from anything else they did.
Yeah.
They never did anything like this again. They never had one where they're singing and talking in rhyme or anything. Although apparently that was popular back then in some of these shorts when this was still early talkies and they just liked incorporating music into anything they could. And back then seemed like that.
Okay. And I saw had director Archie Gottler was the director, and I guess it's the only one he did. So it's. Like I said, it's a unique one.
It is.
So, there's that.
Okay. Pullman Porter in that one. And he's in several of the Stooges films. He's in more Our Gangs than anything. This is 1940. Now, this is the jazzy Stooges music. And then we get to that goofy music with Shemp. That's different than this.
Okay, so the next one we saw is Plumbing We Will Go. This one's 1940, so it's close to the middle of Curly's run, maybe a little after the middle of his run. This one is a little more. They're hitting their stride. You've got their regular theme now is up with their logo. They've got it down now, I guess is the best way to say it.
They've made a lot by this time.
And to me, this is probably one of the best. There's a lot, and we talked before. we got on here about the top 10 or our top 15. But I think we'll stick top 10. And as we go over these, discuss what maybe our top 10. And this one's definitely in the conversation. I don't know if it's top 10, but it's definitely in that conversation. A lot of good sight gags. You know, the physical comedy, great. Usually like the Three Stooges. It's got a fun ending to it. So for me, I rate this one really high. I've got this one as a 9. It's almost perfect for me. I think it started out a little slow for me with the courtroom scene, but once they got going, in this one, they're plumbers. So I'm going to give it a 9. What did you want to say about that?
I'm pretty much in agreement with you on it. Like I say, by this time they're hitting their stride. Their characters are definitely established in these films. You kind of know what to expect. I'm not crazy about the courtroom scene, but everything moves quick enough that they're into the plumbing scene pretty quick in this movie. Yeah. And I love the way the ending is incorporated into it. A lot of times, several of the shorts, they just kind of ended them. They walk off set, or they walk into the distance, or they run away. This one, they're being chased, but it has some continuity to it, since these guys, you know, the magician had been in earlier, and here he is at the end, and that sight gag at the end with everything coming out of that box was really cool. Yeah. So yeah, this is another one of those things. I agree with you. If I'm going to put a top 10 or top 20 together, this would definitely be in it. The plumbing scene that Curly does in the bathroom is enough by itself. That one is used a lot. That's another thing. They did so much stock footage over the years. When they would do them, it was usually from some of their best films. They wanted to repeat scenes, and that'll almost tell you that was such a good scene. They wanted it in Shemps and everybody else. So yeah, I think I would agree with you on this. I'd go 9 with this too. 9. I have a lot of them to me that are 8, 9s, and 10s. Yeah. And this one's right in there. Yeah, this is one of the better ones, I think.
That's why I'm wondering if we do a top 10. This one might not make it, but it's in the discussion for now for sure, because it's up there. And I forgot to mention the side characters in this one also are the guy who plays the cook, Dudley Dickerson.
Wonderful actor.
And, you know, he slides. The physical comedy does is great. Some of the expressions he makes. So I think it adds to it, where not all the time the extras get a nice part. That was a funny part, you know.
And the key is, he had a good scene, and he made the most of it. Yeah. You know, they're only on screen for that minute. In a short, the whole thing is only 18 minutes. The Stooges are obviously going to get most of that footage, and then this guy gets his 2 minutes, maybe 2.5 minutes total. Yet you remember that as I know as a kid and watching it all these years, I remember his scene. Somebody will mention, you remember the cook? Oh, yes. You remember when a guy can make his scene count and he's only in for 2 minutes, that's pretty good.
Yeah, he was good. But so we give that one a 9, and we've got one more to go.
Yep. See, this is different, and then when they go to Shemp, they change it a little bit again. This one has one of their best woman comedians in here, Simona Boniface.
Okay, so the last one we saw today was actually Curly's last short, again, as a Stooge. He was in one other one later, but in this one, he's a Stooge. Halfwits Holiday, made in 1947. Do you want to talk about this one real quick?
Go right ahead.
Okay. Well, the thing about this one is he's in it until maybe the last 2 or 3 minutes or so. There's a big pie fight scene at the end, and Curly's nowhere to be found because he suffered a stroke, which to me is just so strange. You can tell in this one it's tougher to watch just because you can see how sick he is, how unhealthy he is. He has trouble with his lines. He's slow speech. He doesn't move real well. And I think with today, there's no way. I mean, they would have hopefully taken him to the hospital, gotten some care. Instead, back then, we're pushing him through, and it's kind of sad to see. But anyway, he had a stroke near the end of the making of this, so he's not in it in the last 2 minutes, which is strange. But they finished up anyway. It's a remake of Hoi Polloi, which is one of their best by far. We get a chance to review that one. Oh, yeah. This one doesn't quite have the same. It just doesn't feel quite the same.
Doesn't have the vitality.
With Curly, as sick as he is.
And Mo and Larry are getting up there a little bit now, too. They're still able to move, but you can see that they're all aging there.
Yeah, and this one has Vernon Dent, who was in tons of Three Stooges shorts. He's one of the guys in this one, and it's the Heredity environment, which also Trading Places, a movie made in the 80s, used the same concept.
Exactly.
So it's been done. But anyway, so I'm thinking about a rating for this one. I probably put this one at 3, just because Curly's so sick. It's tough to watch. Mo and Larry do a fine job, but it's just not the same. And that pie fight scene, some of it was pretty good, but if Curly would have been in it, now you're talking, we're up there, a healthy Curly, especially. So I'm going with 3 on this one.
Okay, again, we're not too far off here.
Okay.
This one, like I say, yeah, it's tough to watch because you know what happens, to Curly in this. But again, I'd say the last year or two he made films, you could definitely see that he was sick.
He sounds so different. So it's like a different person.
It wasn't like this one. It just all of a sudden gets sick. He was sick for quite some time, and if you see the last 10, 15 shorts, you'll see a different Curly in everyone. I mean, he's just not the same, and you can see it. And the fact that it's a remake, so a lot of the same routines, the jokes are pretty much, if you've seen Hoi Polloi, you'll know a lot of the jokes that are coming. So that takes away from it, too. It's a copy, which isn't their fault. I mean, they did what they were told in those days, and that's another reason Curly was on the set as ill as he was. Back then, you showed up for work no matter what. No excuses. But the one really good scene in this that is repeated in several shorts is Mo with this young lady character actress, Simona Boniface, who always plays a society woman. She's in several of their shorts, and her and Mo doing that pie scene with that pie on the ceiling is a really good. That one is shown over and over and over, and Mo does it great, and she's good in it. That one, by the way, was done by Columbia in as early as 1934. I looked this up. Andy Clyde, who did shorts for Columbia almost as long as the Stooges did.
See, old man dropping knowledge here, people. Old man dropping knowledge.
He had that exact scene where he's talking to some woman and the pie is hanging over their head in the ceiling. But
I always wonder things like that. Who really did it first? Somebody might have done it before that. It's always.
And apparently somebody at the studio remembered that scene. Let's put this scene in with Mo and her do that scene. Because again, we're talking 13 years earlier. Most people wouldn't even know that it had been done again. But again, like I say, they're older. Curly is just not Curly in these later shorts anyway, although he has his moments in any of the last years he's in. As bad as he was doing, he still would have his moments in him, I think.
He's still Curly.
He was such a good, just a great comedian as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I would give this one maybe about a 4 would be about the best for me too, because I just can't go any higher than that with it.
Yeah, I agree. But this was a lot of fun watching these with you again. It's been a while since I've seen them for sure. And we talked earlier about seeing most of these. I think there's some I haven't seen, but I've seen just about all of them. I think you've seen them all. But it's fun to watch over again and see it with a fresh set of eyes for me, at least anyway. And watch it with you and talk about it while we're watching it. It was a lot of fun.
Watch them 100 times and I'll still laugh at them.
Right.
There's a sign that it's good.
It's so entertaining. But if you would, like and subscribe and comment and let us know if there's a particular Three Stooges short you'd like us to review. We'd love to go over any of your suggestions. Or if there's something else, if we were talking earlier about the Marx Brothers or any of the old comedians or even newer movies. We'd love to review some. But right now we're really concentrating on the Three Stooges. But please go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, and let us know. This was a lot of fun. I hope
it was.
We'll get to do it again. And I'm the Korn Man. That's the old man. See you next time.
See you guys.